Good, we're 10 o'clock. All right, not as heavy of a agenda today, so we'll get to as many questions as you'd like. Just so you know, just a quick update on Miraflores. Terra Explorations is going to survey the east side of the park on Thursday. So I know we gave you guys last week a little more of a range of time, but that we've got that a little more refined today. So it should be Thursday and Friday, and we'll have city staff on site. And remember, this is to survey the east side because of the proximity of some of the what was discovered being close to the boundary of the original area. So we will get that done Thursday, Friday, and as I would expect, it'll take some time for that to be processed, and we won't have an answer on Friday afternoon about that. But Adrian's here as well if you've got any other additional questions. And then we'll have a public meeting with the Miraflores part, the community group, as soon as reasonable following that work on Thursday and Friday. Skate spot update. It's been talked about for a while. You've seen that we're going to reschedule the community meeting that was for February, I think 24th, right, at Bayview Park. And mainly right now, what we had expected to have some general drawings, some renderings, things like that, from the group, from the Upward Intuition group, and like many things, just get delayed, and we don't have those yet. And we just didn't deem it necessary yet to have a public input meeting on something that our public works team, our engineers haven't seen yet. And so what we didn't want to have happen is everyone get excited about renderings that aren't possible. And then now we look like we're not wanting to be supportive of the project. So we continue to be supportive of that. I think the other big question that we need to look at is cost. And we've entered into these skate spot partnership conversations based around the idea that we could help find some park property and that we could help project manage. But as you guys have documented well yourselves, we've got significant maintenance that needs to be done around the city. So we have not entered into this with the idea that the city would be, after a $2.2 million skate park, we're probably not going to be expending any significant funds on our side or proposing that. And so I think the grant is $150,000 that has been procured from Upward Intuition. And so again, we continue to be partners with them on that, but we want to look at the renderings because we want to make sure they're feasible, but we also want to look at them in terms of cost. And as you guys know, almost every project we do ends up costing more money than we think, and $150,000 with anything that needs to be engineered or there needs to be civil or stormwater potentially, that we could go through $150,000 very, very quickly. And what my concern is also getting in front of us is that we have the public looking at sketches of a $750,000 or $1 million type thing when there's only $150,000 available. And again, then the perception being that we don't want to support it. So just a couple things would get a little ahead of us until we have some more information. So we'll continue to work with them and looking forward to doing that. And I think once we get those renderings, we'll learn a little bit more. And we've been doing some research too. I know there's a lot of excitement around the idea of having it at Bayview Park. I know with the group, and Bayview is also one of the most activated parks we have by far. I mean, when you think about which parks and which areas of town have gotten new things, Bayview certainly has done that. And we've got 94 parks, many of which are city blocks, entire city blocks that are very unactivated relative to that. So. And as a matter of fact, I know we've been doing some research. I believe there's some kind of skate activation at Gold Point right now, community center right now, that's fallen into some disrepair. Is it a repurpose project as opposed to building something new if we can't make it work in the budget? So there's a lot of things that need to be considered here, in terms of equity of activating our spaces around our city, not in just one place, and cost and logistics and all that. So again, I didn't want anyone to see a delay or a postponement of this community group and and speculate as to a lack of support or that we aren't interested in doing it. We will reschedule it, and we'll have that as soon as we probably won't do that until we see those renderings and we've had those internal meetings first. Then we'll get something back on the books. But so we remain, hand in hand on wanting to explore that option. But there is some work to be done before we can get there. So more to come. Just a quick estimated install completion date for red light cameras is July 1st. So we've heard back from our vendor on that. And again, bear with us on something that's still several months away. Could change. I'll continue to update you guys, but we are penciling in July 1 as the red light camera update. Also, good update from sanitation. Just to be on the lookout, we're actually going to be adding. Really appreciate sanitation Fred and his team getting this up and going. You'll start to see some QR codes going on garbage cans. Especially the ones that are coming out new. So we aren't going to go around the city and put 21,000 out, in the next week or two. But either if someone's can's being replaced, or we'll start to slowly you'll see QR codes on. That's just to give our customers better access to, if they want to sign up for text, if they want to know what the schedule is, those types of things, just to have that one-stop shop. So when you see those, and again, taking a step, using some technology to our advantage, and making sure that we have as much outreach to all the customers that we can get. So anyway, I think that's a great step forward, and again, appreciate our team. We'll have a rollout exact date later, but you'll start to see that. Just what we hope is a better customer experience, and if you're not sure when the garbage is going to come, you can go out and ask your garbage can. It'll tell you when your garbage is going to be there that week. Holiday schedule, remember next week, President's Day is Monday, February 19th, so there'll be no garbage collection on Monday, so that means everyone, again, slides to the 4 collection days will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So your Monday pickups will be Tuesday, your Tuesday pickups will be Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday will remain the same. We do have a smoke alarm Saturday that was, I remember we had one rescheduled because of weather, is this Saturday in District 1. And that is south of Kingsbury Drive and north of Durango Drive, and then east of Leesway and west of Flax. That's where our fire department will be out there putting in smoke detectors. They'll come install them for you. And you can always give our fire department a call or 311 a call anytime. We'll come help you put one in. But if you know anyone, if you have any parents or grandparents that live over in that area, maybe not, don't have the ability to get up on the ceiling and get one of those changed out, give us a heads up. We'll go right out there on Saturday. So again, those 2 areas in District 1. And we continue to just have the monitor recycling drop off, another 517 pounds, and we still are on track to be working on the RFP for third-party recycling pickup at the curb, as well as, and we'll have some more information. We're kind of giving ourselves a deadline of March 1st to have something in order. So other than two other quick things, a big thank you to obviously a great weekend with Mardi Gras parades. And I think from a cleanup standpoint and a logistics standpoint, barricades, and there's so much that goes into it, so much cost, honestly, of the city that goes into it as well. Very appreciative of all of our team stepping up, and I think this is the best we've done in terms of cleanup afterwards and not having any issues or arise before, during, or after. And so I sent an email out to all the pertinent department directors today to make sure that we thank everybody that was part of that, and glad we had a great weekend and a safe weekend. And last thing, the Real Connect program, it was mentioned, I know, out in the media about being able to connect folks here in our community back where they can find the most help. So I mentioned to you guys we had a couple folks from Alabama that we were able to get them back to their father and who could help them, and then we had a gentleman from Tennessee that was based off of a referral from one of our community response specialists. And so we were able to get him back to his home, to his family in Tennessee. So another good progress from that, and appreciate the county, and I know our community response specialists are right on top of that out there, seeing if folks are needing opportunity for help, and You hear stories all over, about folks and how they end up where they end up, and sometimes that's just the difference. And getting someone a better quality of life is being able to get them back to their support structure. And so very glad that the county's put that together, and I know our community response team certainly taking advantage of that and making sure that we spread the word. So that is everything I've got for today, and happy to take any questions you have.
On the skate spots, I guess, can you kind of clarify what you're saying as far as the skate park or skate spot grant? I believe it was partnership with the East Hill Neighborhood Association, so they're looking to put it in East Hill, but you were talking about maybe...
I'm not familiar with whether the grant was part of... Are you saying the grant was part of East Hill Neighborhood? Okay. I know that they have reached out. The Upward Intuition has reached out to East Hill Neighborhood Association. That's not something that we've done. That's something they've done. So I couldn't speak to if their grant outlines that or not. I don't think it does, because I think one of the early conversations that we had walked away from was an idea of putting it at Maritime Park because of there's too many unknowns going there right now and development and things like that. So that makes me think that the grant's probably not tied specifically to East Hill, but I do think they've been out, meeting with neighborhood associations, I think. Is that?
Yeah, I might have misspoke.
Yeah.
The city press release, when it was announced a couple weeks ago, said it would be located in the East Hill Neighborhood District. So
that's not something I'm committing to. So at this point, now we'll entertain it. I'm not saying it won't either. But I think that therein lies the point. I think we're a little too early right now. As I said, think about our engineers, our public works team hasn't physically seen what's even being proposed. And so. Could it even fit at a certain park? There was conversations about there's that old concrete slab by Bayview Park. Well, that's also right next to all of those gazebos that are rented constantly for birthday parties and things like that. Is the noise of a skate spot, does that work there or does it not? So we're too early on that. We've got to kind of see, what is it that we're considering? And so, we had our initial thought was we would see those renderings by February 1st, was kind of the general deadline as we approach this. And we own that too. We probably should have not even put anything out yet until we had received those. I think we had just assumed they were coming in pretty close, and then now, of course, it's February 13th. We haven't seen anything yet. And the public feedback, we were on our way on a course where our staff would have been seeing these the same time the public would have been seeing them, and it could have been something that was completely unrealistic or couldn't go at a park for whatever reason. So we just, again, we are very positive on wanting to get something done, but we need a little more time and we need a little more understanding of what we're signing up for before it's proposed. That so just a little premature at this point is all.
You think you'd have on the agenda the American Magic contract?
It's going to be it's going to be tight. Number one, I would say we're very confident on the terms. What we're redlining attorneys back and forth on is pretty much general logistics. We're down to parking and things like that. We're not. It's not a question of rent or a question of length or any of that. So I feel very good about it. We're pushing hard. I'm going to try to get another answer today. We had a lot of meetings about it yesterday, and so we'll see. But I know my intent is we'll see where we are today, and if nothing else, certainly we'll want to communicate. We don't want to give the council any impression that even if we put it as an add-on, that it's because we wanted them to have a less window to read it. So we've been talking about. On the administration side of, maybe we get, since those terms, we're pretty good on terms, maybe we just make sure that those terms are conveyed out there, and so there's no surprises or anything, but we just might be down in the nitty gritty, and it is what it is. If we don't get there, then we'll just put it on the March one. Obviously, we'd love to kind of formalize that when Terry is in town, on the 26th, but we're certainly, not gonna to force something and put us in an uncomfortable spot or anything. And I don't foresee that. I think the only reason it wouldn't is we'll have missed it by a day or two. I don't think it'll be because we've got a big hang up on anything. So, yeah, we continue to progress forward with that and excited to get that done.
Mayor, Inspire Communities Maritime Park. March is a due date, right?
Yeah. So I think where we're going now is we're going to probably give about for Valencia on parcel 7, as well as Inspire on 4 and 5 specifically. That we're going to probably extend both of them uniformly to June 30th is going to be our intent. I've met with both of them in the last 30 days or so. Actually, Valencia's sent their entire team from Texas there and kind of proposed. And remember, you got to understand the history of this. These are things that started before I was here, and I always give you guys that analogy, and I always give that one that you're the new GM, and there's a first round draft pick. You're still you're in assessment mode. Make sure it makes sense for the city, and so had a great meeting with them. What they're proposing is is still that hotel on 7 that very beautiful. Would be certainly be an amazing amenity for us, and so on their side, June 30th to get us to a term sheet. And then, and frankly, on the Inspire side, that extension really is on us. Between American Magic, Baptist Hospital, everything else, the delay was not them. The delay was us. And so we're giving them another 90 days, frankly, just because we couldn't turn something, around in time. And again, I don't blame anybody. We're fully staffed in the city attorney's office now, and it won't be an issue before, but we had so many irons in the fire, as well as ST, which you'll see on the agenda, the award of bid for Hangar 3, which is, I believe an $80+ million project. So there was lots of legal work to be done at that time, and that was taking priority. So their delay was nothing on them. Delay was on us. So I think they're comfortable with that, June 30th. So we'll have Valencia and Inspire all lined up. So we'll have to get those extensions, but we're going to just move them to June 30th.
Just to follow up on that, does Valencia still need parking? I mean, is that still part of their wait and see?
Here's where I think we're going to end up going. Remember, one of the complexities before of the intermingling of 4, 5, and 7 was the structured parking aspect of it, and how do you move ahead with 7 when you don't know what the structure is going to be on 4 and 5? That was kind of one of the what I read as one of the previous kind of hang-ups to get something going. Where I think we're going to go now is I think that there's going to be some proposed development on parcel 5, which 5 is the grass lot closest to home plate. So 4 is the parking lot as we know it now. So I think we could get something going ahead on 5 that will self-park potentially for its own. You'd still have 4 that Valencia could also use. So I mean, it's another way to kick the can on a $30,000 space parking garage. But so Inspire would still have the agreement on 4, but I think that there's a way that it could be phased where 5 and 7 could be developed without the structured parking need until it's time for 4.
So 5 would be surface parking?
Or, well, it could be, right, correct, but or there could be some version of a podium or something like, you could park underneath it or, do a floor or two. So, and remember, it's a big parking lot over there. I mean, there's still some capacity, but the issue was if you were going to develop 4 first, then you had to do something with parking because of the Maritime Office Building has 200 spaces. Obviously, there's requirement for the stadium. And so we believe that there's a formula in play that you could do 5 and 4. And the outlying ones, for example, parcel 8, that's closest to the marina down there. Ultimately, anybody who's going to develop there is going to probably end up self-parking that. I mean, if it's going to be any kind of residential or hotel, I don't know what it'll be, but to ask someone to be on the waterfront down there and then that your parking space is a couple blocks away may not be, so I bet there'll be some version of self-park when we get to 8. But we'll have to come to terms with whatever's going to happen with parking when 4 gets developed. But we believe there's an equation here that 5 could happen and 7 could happen without having to delve into a $15 million parking garage.
So Mayor, so this extension of the lease until June 30th, they will continue to pay for those options?
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
At the agreed upon rate?
Yeah. What we're proposing with those two is just an extension of the existing, no changes to what was already extended to February and March. So 2 different scenarios, because we're further ahead with Inspire. There was some terms and things worked out before I started that haven't been worked out with Valencia, because Valencia was on the back burner until we figured out 4 and 5. And so 2 different, they're at 2 different points in time, I guess. But we both can get to that next step by June 30th on both. It's just a little bit of different steps.
Barry, you mentioned the ST engineering, that's
Yep.
going to be on the agenda next week, I guess. If the bid gets approved, do you know when construction will begin?
I don't know exactly when. It's the awarded bid. Obviously, it went out to bid, and it's the awarded bid. So I would not be clear on details. But the 2 things I'm excited about over there is certainly getting 3 going. I know ST wants to get 3 going, and then we're certainly immensely supportive of and have been playing an indirect role in helping Pensacola State and ST come to an agreement on the A&P Mechanics School that's coming out. That I think they're going to be taken to Triumph, and we asked ST to be supportive of that project financially, and they've agreed to do that. And I mentioned on radio this morning, I think, everyone sees the hangars and kind of know what those are as citizens. I'll tell you, I think the most vital aspect of this project right now is getting that school done. And because why did we do this project? We did this project to create jobs and to give Pensacolians a better quality of life, or to move people in from the area that are having their families here and spending their money here, right? That's the economic development aspect of it. And without that engine, the A&P school, it's going to be difficult to live up to that. It's a hard lift for ST. It's a hard lift for the city. But we've got to have that development of our talent, where our kids can leave high school or trade school or Pensacola State and go create opportunity for themselves and their family, and do it right on the airport property, I think, is even better than just doing it on a campus somewhere. I think the idea that you'd be sitting there right next to, a $80-100 million hangar, that you walk right across the street, and then obviously the employment opportunities both with Leonardo as well as well as ST, is going to be great for our citizens, that they're going to have opportunity that they didn't have moving forward. So we've worked real hard here, even as an indirect party to that, other than just owning the dirt at the airport, to try to help Pensacola State and ST make that happen, and I feel real good about where that's at. So it would be potentially a building on the northernmost side, 25,000 square foot building there for the mechanics school, as well as the Hangar 3 that's been proposed for a while. So no idea on exact dates on that, but as we get those, I'll certainly share them with you.
Do you have any, last week, Florida Politics had a column about the Baptist Hospital, and did you see that column? Do you have any reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. But no, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I think, my position at the city is, we're keeping our eyes on what the transformational opportunity of this project is. Debating who's responsible for what, at this point in the game. I think I'm confident in our plan moving forward. I feel we'll see what happens. There's a lot of things that are not in our control, I think that's just where we are. So, I can't comment as to, what's in there or what's not in there, but we continue to move forward. I'm meeting with I believe I'm going to the February board meeting for Baptist, and we'll, discuss kind of where we are and some of the other variables. One variable, just as an example, is the PACES project. If the PACES project doesn't get funded for that $2.9 million, that's $2.9 million that isn't in the stack. Now what? Certainly, what in what form does the $3 million pledge from Baptist come? Is that something that we see what happens this July, and then they have an opportunity to have some kind of runway, some kind of time to come up with those dollars? Those are certainly things that haven't been worked out that we'll entertain. But so there's some variables that are out of our control. The number one being what's going to happen at the state level. But I will say this: I'm confident that if we can get the funding to make that this can be a transformational housing opportunity that the state could be proud of. I really believe that. So what I hope is that a lot of who's on first is going to be really a moot point. If we can get this property improved and we can leverage this as our community subsidy to provide affordable housing. I think every city in the state's looking for opportunities to do that at this kind of scale. Again, I've got our eyes on the prize of trying to get this project done, and I'm not getting lost in details on who someone thinks should be responsible for what. At this point, I think we just continue to forge ahead. Anything else? All right, thank you guys.